Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to the Soundline. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Accuphase's latest release in their integrated amplifier lineup, the E5000. This is an AB class amplifier. It's now the most powerful integrated amplifier that they make, with a whopping 240 watts per channel at 8 ohms or 320 watts per channel at 4 ohms. And so yeah, we're just going to be giving you the brief overview like we normally do, a few little specs on it so you know what you're getting, and then I'll give you some of my opinions and thoughts on how it sounds. So the first thing I'm going to point out, because it is actually the main change that they have done to this, it's a bit of an aesthetic thing. Around the input selector and the volume controls here, they now have a really nice sort of polished gold trim ring going around there. I don't know if that's specific just to the E5000 model or if that is a sign of like things to come, like how they're going to do all the new amplifiers going forward, but I like it. Left to right, input selector, you got 3 line level inputs, a couple of balanced inputs, dedicated RCA inputs for your CD player and tuner, and then a couple of option board slots, which we will go over when we flip it around to the back. Your nice big chunky power switch. And as we always say with Accuphase, the reason they don't put a standby circuit in these things and it is because all of the electricity that eventually becomes sound does flow through that power switch. So it's important that you have a good quality power switch and you don't provide any noise with some, low voltage relay that turns it on and off after 15 minutes or something like that. Press this nice wee button on the side here to get that really satisfying Accuphase fold down flat. Left to right, we've got our speaker selector. Speakers off like we have it now. Speaker A output, speaker B output, and A plus B. Bass and treble adjustments. Again, reason we like Accuphase, one of the only brands in the world where I can comfortably say to a customer, you can turn that bass control all the way up and it's not going to affect the sound quality. It actually still sounds good when you do that, which is really, really hard to do for a lot of amplifiers. Your tone control button, so this button, when you hit it, it activates those tone controls. So you can, in theory, have a tone control preset and then just hit the button and it sets it back to flat. Hit it again and it's gone back to the preset that you like. Mono, that's a cool wee setting to have if you're playing like mono records or you want to get that mono sound out of something that is already stereo. Compensate, which is effectively like a peak diminisher. So if you're maybe listening to music at night and you don't want it to be too loud, this will reduce the dynamic range so you don't get those big spikes and peaks and wake everyone up. Your DAC button and your MC/MM button, those are used when you have Accuphase's DAC card or phono card in the back. You can choose whether it's using USB, coaxial or optical input, and obviously MC/MM, switch between 2 different voltages for your phono stage there. And then the display button, so you can hit this, turn the display completely off while it's still playing. Some people like to listen in pitch blackness. Main in, so normal, balance and line, that is if you are using a preamplifier ahead of this and you're using this as a power amplifier, you can switch this over to balanced or line level input and then just use this as a power amplifier only. Kind of a handy feature to have if you're integrating it with a home theater, for instance. You can plug the front pre-outs from your home theater receiver into the main input on this, and then all you do when you've got it on home theater mode, switch that to line level input, and now this is a power amplifier just for the front speakers. And then our attenuator button, which just drops the signal down by 20 dB, so it's a nice quick easy way to lower the signal, but it's a bit nicer than having just a hard mute. And then our really, really nice feeling volume control, which Accuphase is famous for. This is part of one of the best features in the whole amplifier. They make really good volume control, and I mean that not just in terms of feel, but in terms of sound quality. One more thing just about the display here on the front. This new E5000, they've got nice, great big windows here with the VU meters that are really popular. You'll see with the 280, 380, 480, they're a slightly smaller one. So since they're so popular and people love them, they made them a bit bigger and made them more sensitive so you can actually, if you want to, get a more accurate reading on what type of output you have. And then I guess the only other thing to bear in mind is that, like the 380 did when that came out, they now have megahertz in the display range. So if you're displaying what frequency the DAC is receiving a signal at, it will display it in the megahertz range as well. Okay, now looking at the back of it, again, left to right, we'll just briefly go over what we've got here. Option 1 and Option 2 cards, so that's if you're putting Accuphase's a phono preamplifier card, the AD50 or the DAC50 or DAC60 card in, if you want to feed a digital signal in. RCA inputs here, tuner, CD, line 1, 2 and 3. Pre-out, RCA pre-out and main in RCA inputs. Directly below that we have the XLR main input connections and an XLR pre-out connection. And then we've got balanced CD and balanced 1 input. And then over on the right hand side, obviously speaker A, speaker B, and your power connector. And that's pretty much it. Power, as I said at the beginning, 240 watts per channel into 8 ohms or 320 watts per channel into 4 ohms. Damping factor of 1000, same as the E800 and the P7300 power amplifier. Intermodular distortion, 0.01%, same as the E800. And really low noise, I think 0.63 microvolts, again, same as the E800. It's quite hard to get those really impressive factors with this style of amplifier over something which is Class A, like the E800. So yeah, really, really good on specs. In terms of sound quality, I've had a really good listen to it and I actually really like it. It's getting closer and closer to that ultra smooth, rich Class A sort of sound, with the added benefit that this guy has lots of power, so you can use it on some pretty big speakers that really do suck up that power quicker than we would otherwise like them to. But yeah, it's got a great sound, lovely, warm, rich, and a lot more detail than what I would say the E480 has, which is the next step down in the Class A/B range. Overall, it's a great sounding amplifier, but as with anything, you probably want to hear it yourself. So if you want to have a listen to this amplifier, we have it in store at the moment. I think there's only like one of them in the country or something like that. So come down and have a listen, see what you think, or just give us a call and arrange a booking. My name's James. Thank you for watching this video. Ka kite anō.